Kal Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. On double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. And really I'm just gonna start it off. As you can see by the title, it is a little bit hard to explain. Lord willing, I get it out, clearly, so that you guys can understand. I'm pretty sure you guys get the idea, though. You will, anyway. So, this whole thing about affliction and adversity, these are making us to be stronger. Because the men that the Lord are raising up aren't going to be, they can't be soft. They can't be. If you want to be a part of the elect, which I hope you do, as do I, then you need to know both sides of the coin. How are you going to know both sides of the coin if you don't see both sides of the coin? You got to know the good and the bad. You got to know the evil and the righteous. And we're getting ready to see, Lord willing, we are a part of that number, true evil. We see it, but we're going to be experiencing that. True evil, pure evil. Because once these devils, all of these devils, find out who we are and that they literally have nothing to live for except slavery, that little song and dance about love everybody, that's going to go out the door. They're going to ride out and kill as many of us as they can. They literally won't give a damn anymore because they have nothing to live for. Literally nothing. Once they figure out they're going into slavery, what else can they do? I mean, what can they do? That's their last hurrah. Their sword of the Lord. They're going to take out as many 2/3 as possible. And not only 2/3, but some of the men of the Lord as well. Some men of the Lord might be martyrs. You don't know. But that's what's getting ready to happen. And it should scare you, but you have to know that the Lord's got you. Okay? And that's the hard part. Where we're going through, it really isn't the hard part. I saw a video earlier on today that was talking about that same thing. We're going through stuff right now, but it really isn't anything compared to what's getting ready to happen. I believe it was the elder from the Atlanta camp that put up the video. But yeah, it really isn't anything compared to what's getting ready to go down. And, it's a scary thing. But, let me get this. Ecclesiastes 2, I'm just going to start from the top. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. And that's what we're hoping for. That everlasting joy is the kingdom. Okay? And that mercy, that's that we might receive salvation on this side. Ultimately, all of Israel will be saved, but on this side, only the elect will be. You want to be a part of the elect. You understand? The elect are going to have to go through things. Like I said, okay? You have to know both sides of the coin. The elect are going to be the governing body on this earth. Okay? Under Yahushua and under King David, they're going to, they're going to be the governing body. So how are you going to pass judgment on people if you don't know both sides of the coin? The Lord isn't raising up weak people, man. The furnace of adversity, man. Let me go back to it. Salakia. Okay? Ecclesiastes 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, man. We want to be gold. We don't want to be the dross that's on the gold and the silver like we are now, like our people are. Okay? We want to be gold. If you want to refine gold, you got to put it in that fire, man. Let it take that heat. Okay? If we're the gold bar, we're going to be put in the fire, the furnace of adversity. Okay? This is Daniel 3 and 6. I know you guys know the story. This is the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, they were actually put into a furnace, but they held onto their faith. They held on to their power. What does it say? Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, right? Believe in him, and he will help thee order thy way right, and trust in him. Okay? And what were they trusting in him for? For his mercy. Ye that fear the Lord hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. And that's what they were looking for. They put their trust in the Lord and received mercy. They weren't even touched by the fire. Here it is now. Let's start at verse 12. Daniel 3 and 12. There are certain Jews who thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They had brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready at that time, ye hear the sound of the trumpet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that power that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said unto the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake, and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So you got the strongest dudes to come and tie them up and cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hose, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Okay? And these guys is so spiritual. It really is, man. Because you're going to see later on the story why, but they were cast in that fiery furnace because they refused to go along with the system. That Babylonian system. They're representative of the elect of their time. Because what's coming here is straight fire, man. Nuclear fire. Okay? This entire landscape is that proverbial furnace. It's going to be way hotter than that furnace. I guarantee you that. Let's continue reading. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew the men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, Did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the son of Yahweh. Look at that. The son of God.